At exactly 8:50 a.m. on November 9, 1979, every computer screen in America's most secure nuclear command center exploded with a single, terrifying message. 1,400 Soviet nuclear missiles, all aimed at America. Launch time 30 minutes, but here's the twist that will blow your mind. This wasn't real, but for 6 terrifying minutes, America thought it was. And they almost fired back. Stay with me, because by the end of this video, you'll know exactly how close we came to ending civilization, and the unbelievable human error that nearly caused it. Before we dive into this insanity, let me paint you a picture of what 1979 actually looked like. While Americans were watching Happy Days and arguing about gas prices, both superpowers had built arsenals capable of destroying every major city on Earth multiple times. And here's what's absolutely insane. The technology protecting us from nuclear war was more primitive than the phone in your pocket right now. Our story takes place here, inside Cheyenne Mountain, Colorado. But this is not just any mountain. It's America's nuclear nerve center, carved 2,000 feet into solid granite. The facility is designed to survive a direct hit from a 30-megaton hydrogen bomb. To put that in perspective, that's 2,000 times more powerful than the bomb that destroyed Hiroshima. Inside this fortress, 100 military officers monitor every inch of airspace around North America 24/7. Their job? Watch for the end of the world. November 9th started as a routine day. A lieutenant colonel was running standard tests on NORAD's brand new missile warning system. But here's where everything went catastrophically wrong. The 427 million computer system, the brain of America's missile defense, had a fatal design flaw. Training simulations and live threat detection ran on the same network. It's like playing Russian roulette with your nuclear arsenal. And the training scenario loaded that morning was the Pentagon's worst nightmare. It was a coordinated Soviet-first strike designed to destroy America's ability to fight back. Within seconds, this false reality spread like wildfire across America's entire nuclear command network. What happened next was a cascade of terror that reached the highest levels of American power. The Pentagon's war room erupted, Strategic Air Command went to high alert, America's nuclear bombers prepared for takeoff. 10 nuclear-armed F-106 interceptors launched into American skies. These weren't training flights, they carried live nuclear air-to-air missiles. But the most chilling moment? The President's doomsday plane. This is a flying Pentagon designed to survive nuclear war. Began emergency startup procedures. But here's what's absolutely incredible. While all this was happening, one man's phone was about to ring with the most important call of the Cold War. 2:30 a.m. Washington, D.C. Zbigniew Brzezinski, President Carter's national security advisor, was jolted awake by his secure phone. The voice on the other end delivered news that would have made any human being's blood run cold. "Sir, NORAD is tracking 220 Soviet missiles inbound to the United States." Brzezinski had minutes to decide whether to wake President Carter and potentially start World War III, but then something remarkable happened. The radars were showing nothing. Satellites detected no launches. The digital warning and physical reality did not match. And in that moment, human judgment became the thin line between civilization and annihilation. Here's the detail that will give you chills. Multiple confirmation systems that should have detected a real attack were silent. America's Defense Support Program satellites, positioned 22,000 miles above Earth, saw no missile launches. Ground-based radars scanning the Arctic for incoming warheads? Nothing. The PAVEPAWS system designed to spot submarine-launched missiles? Silent. 6 minutes after the alert began, NORAD's commander made the call that saved the world. "Stand down, this is a false alarm." But the investigation into what went wrong would reveal something even more terrifying. When investigators dug into the cause, they uncovered a systemic nightmare that should terrify every person on Earth. The 427 million system wasn't just unreliable, it was a disaster waiting to happen. Government investigators had recommended scrapping the entire system years earlier. It was years behind schedule, millions over budget, and prone to random failures. America's nuclear defense was running on broken technology. But here's the part that should keep you awake at night. This wasn't the end. It was just the beginning. 3 more false alarms would strike in the next 18 months. Each time, nuclear forces prepared for war. The culprit? A 46-cent computer chip that kept failing. 46 cents between peace and global thermonuclear war. When news of this incident leaked to the press, the international reaction was swift and furious. Soviet leader Leonid Brezhnev personally wrote to President Carter. His message was chilling. This incident was fraught with tremendous danger. There should be no errors in such matters. Remember, this happened just weeks before the Soviet invasion of Afghanistan. Relations between the superpowers were already on a knife's edge. The Soviets were terrified that American computers could accidentally trigger World War III. And honestly, they had every right to be. But here's what makes this story absolutely insane. November 9th was just one incident in a terrifying pattern. June 3rd, 1980. The same broken system detected 2,200 incoming Soviet missiles. Again, false alarm. June 6th, 1980. Another failure, another moment where nuclear war almost began by accident. September 26th, 1983. Now it was the Soviets' turn. Their satellites detected 5 American missiles heading for Moscow. Lieutenant Colonel Stanislav Petrov faced the same impossible choice: trust the computer or trust his gut. Like the Americans in 1979, Petrov chose human judgment over digital certainty. He refused to report the attack. Investigation later proved both incidents were caused by the same thing: computers mistaking natural phenomena for nuclear war. Now here's the part that should absolutely terrify you about today. Those same Minuteman III missiles that almost launched in 1979, they are still in service today. Still using 8-inch floppy disks. Still running on 1970s computers. Some of these nuclear weapon systems are literally older than the people operating them. The smartphone in your pocket has more computing power than the entire network that almost ended the world in 1979, which brings us to the question that should haunt every world leader. How many times has this happened that we don't know about? The November 9th incident only became public because a Washington Star reporter happened to be visiting an air traffic control center when it happened. He witnessed FAA controllers preparing to order every plane in American airspace to land immediately. The SCATANA protocol designed for nuclear war. Without that random reporter, this incident might have stayed classified forever. But here's the most important lesson from November 9th, 1979. In every one of these incidents, American and Soviet, it wasn't technology that saved us. It was people. People who chose to doubt, people who asked questions, people who refused to let fear override common sense. 6 minutes. That's how long it took for humanity to stare into the abyss and step back. If you enjoyed this story, like, subscribe, and hit the bell icon. Until next time.